Hi everyone, my name is Hardy Azeez. I run an agency called Digital Spot. We do design, development, apps and marketing. Marketing being the key to everything we do. Who here uses Facebook? Show of hands. Come on, don't be shy. Who uses Twitter? Who does not use Twitter? Sign up. Okay, and I'll tell you why you should sign up when we go through this. Okay, I actually deleted my Facebook account, but I created a fake one just to manage the pages. But I do run about 3 or 4 different Twitter accounts, and we discuss what do you call going viral, a lot about content going viral, video and that sort of stuff, but Twitter can help with that quite dramatically. So today what I want to talk about is SEO or SMO, basically social media optimization and SEO, search engine optimization. They're the salt and pepper on any dining table that you go to a restaurant. That's how well they work together. But I think I prefer the social side of stuff than the organic. But let's talk a little bit more. Okay, so when it comes to these two, one of the things you need to consider is research, write, distribute, repurpose, and repeat. They're the 5 things you need to do with your content. So content research is about, good, next slide. Evaluate what your key products are. What do you do, what do you deliver, and what content you actually have. Create a spreadsheet, here's the topics, here's the product. What do I have that actually describes what do I do? Once you've done that, then understand how well is your content distributed online in comparison to your competitors and everybody else. Then understand the last point very well. This is extremely important, supply and demand of content. If you've never used there's a tool used to be called AdWord Keyword Tool, now they call it Keyword Planner. It's part of the Google's AdWord. You can type in all your keywords and then it gives you a suggestion how often people search for a keyword. You can use that to understand how often, people searching, let's say for marketing in Sydney, tens of thousands or 100,000 a month, and you compare that to the number of websites that are targeting it. So you identify the keywords that are searched versus what's being offered by websites, and you make a list of all the keywords that are quite similar to each other within that particular product or service you offer. If that doesn't make sense, we can talk about it a bit later. If I'm going slow, please tell me it's going too fast, tell me to slow down. Next one, writing. Who does blogging here? Okay, do you do your topics? What do you write about? Do you do research at first, or do you just I feel like writing about this?
Research it with a bit of feel.
Okay. So you look at the supply and demand, you research it, but you write regularly as well. Okay, because if you just write it, you're not answering the question how to. A lot of the common trend online is how to do this, why should you do this, and need help with. These are the questions people are asking you to find those topics that are relevant to your business and blog about it and answer the questions that people asking for help. If they can't do it, then guess what? They found your blog, they know what you're talking about, they will come to you. Okay, so through blogs you'll end up building an audience that will come back to you regularly and they will talk to you quite often. You need to create your newsletters. Okay, so on your website, when you scroll down the website, there needs to be at least 3 call to actions. So one is to contact you, one is to get subscribed to a newsletter, one is maybe download an ebook or forward it to a friend, or something that you can actually get somebody's email address with it. But when you capture the email, don't just add them to a generic list. Find out what page they subscribe to that mailing list and create a custom mailing list for that page in your MailChimp account. And because they're interested in, let's say, pay-per-click, for example, in my case, I'm not going to send them something about, something about how to design a website, because that's not what they're interested in. They already have a website, they're interested in pay-per-click. So you start sending them automatic content in the part of the subscription in your mailing list so that they get educated and understand what you do. But then remember this, it's not about selling, it's about educating. The more people you educate, the more will come back and buy from you. Okay? So people try and push. I had a client, she loved giving out discounts and offers and come and buy this, and she goes, I don't get any sales and nobody's coming to me. I said, well, that's because you're pushing too hard. People don't like that. People like to be natural and comfortable with you. If they're not comfortable, they'll go away. Whenever you do a blog, okay, you need to distribute your blog through Facebook. And once you make a copy of it, don't just copy the URL and throw it on Facebook. Think about the audience on Facebook. Okay, so a lot of people just get a blog, take the URL, throw it on Facebook, throw it on LinkedIn, throw it on Twitter, throw it everywhere, and it's the same content. and people thinking, oh, well, I'm not getting the response. Well, different mentality, different people, different channels. Okay, so each one of your posts that you do on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and everywhere else, don't just type in the URL. There is if you have Google Analytics installed on your website, you can create custom trackable URLs that tells you which channel gave you the most amount of click-throughs, and you can see the popularity of the post. Later you can study that, and I'll show you a little diagram of how it works, if I can make it work, because it's pretty funny. So learn about the hashtags and the user. That's why I'm thinking, okay, if you don't have Twitter, then please get it, because the power with Twitter is not so much what I had for breakfast. Okay, it's about writing a piece of content, finding a conversation, part of your research, who is talking about what, and then you contribute to that conversation. If you manage to get attention of a person on Twitter who has 50,000, 100,000, a couple of million followers, and they're all within a certain niche that you're interested in, that you're providing a product or service, if they like your product, if they like your article, if they retweet it, if they share it, if they sort of make a favorite, guess what? That has a potential to go viral much quicker than putting so much more time into content writing and trying to do a lot of other things. So spend a bit of time on Twitter and understand what Twitter is all about. It's extremely powerful. You can communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world that is on Twitter. Whether they choose to respond or not, it's up to them, but it's there, okay? So then the other one is creating educational videos. So essentially what I look at is, let's go to the next one, okay, which is part of the repurposing. When you're creating a blog, you tweak the blog, you tweak the post on Facebook, you put it on LinkedIn, you put it on Google+, you start building a large collection of content. You need to repurpose that content. Okay, so you make presentations out of your blogs. You make, you do sort of make videos. You make educational videos. You create ebooks out of it. You make those blogs part of your exclusive content after a while, and you offer it to different people through a subscription. So you use the same thing in different forms, because in different areas there are different people that use it. You might get somebody with a voiceover and just record the blogs for you, and you put it online as a, what do you call it? Podcast. So you've got podcasts, you've got videos, but it's the same content, except different audience. Now, this is the diagram I would love to be able to show you how it works properly. So what happens is, let's say you're doing a 4-year plan of content distribution. So what you do is you've got your first, second, third, and fourth quarter on the green lines there, if you can, if it makes sense, because it's green and green a bit. So once you start releasing your first quarter's content or your articles, and you do 2 tweets, 2 posts, 2 of everything you do, for every time you write something, let's say that's a 52-week, and you plan to do 52 articles. As soon as you reach the end of here, what you do then, you start the beginning of that in parallel with the second quarter, you start redistributing that content. One thing that is commonly happening on social media, things get buried in a actual feed. Now, in addition to doing that throughout the year, you're sort of doing distributing the content second time. You see a lot of tweets that get retweeted or shared or liked, and you see all the social signals. If they're attracting a lot of people, invest a little bit of money, $5 to $10, $20, whatever it is, for the week or for that day or something, and promote the tweet or promote the post, or get it out there to help reach more people, more audience. One very powerful thing people don't take advantage of is if you do Facebook advertising, instead of just selecting your demographics of who you want to advertise to, you can actually select the competition, and Facebook doesn't list it for you. You go in there, you can type in the actual competitor's name, it will give you their audience. You can actually specifically target them. So people who are competing against you, they're on Facebook, they have 500,000 followers, guess what? I'll write an ad specifically for those guys, and every time those guys are on Facebook, they'll see the ad. They're more likely to click and come over. So little bits and pieces like that really helps. Now, who's serious about online business? I think we all are, which is why we're here. Is anybody confused? Max? It's okay. We'll talk about that later. So it is a lot of work, okay? I'm sure we all think that, and we don't always have the time. So what's the option? Okay, well, there are a lot of, I'm going to skip through the platforms because we all know about social media networks and that sort of stuff is there. And then we're running out of time as well. So there are some places you can get on that. I'm happy to share these slides with you guys at the end as well, so you should be able to go through these. So these are some sites that can help you distribute your content through different channels, different media. But essentially what you want to do, you want to have at least the top line on your website. Google Analytics, page speed test, analytics, webmaster tools, get that done. Use the other 3 tools to have free and paid licenses to understand your site from a search engine perspective. It gives you a quick sort of a report, as well as you can look at your competitors, how they do things. And that way you can compare how you're ranking against them, and plan and strategize. Management tools, there are a couple up there. HubSpot. We are building our own little management tool, which is a little bit different to what's out there. And hopefully that'll be in the next couple of months, and we'll share it with everybody. But for now, I want to show you something else about social and power of Twitter. This is evil stuff. This is very evil. Oh, thanks. Screen resolution. How's that? Okay, so what we've got here, it's called Map a Tweet. It's one of the tools we build in-house, and we've released it for public beta for them to use and to do whatever they want to do. When it loads a map, it's basically we're somewhere in here, and loads the map of roughly where we are. So you can do a blank search, okay? And what this does, it goes away. It says, hello Twitter, I need information about anything and everything that has been said around this area on Twitter. So what you see, all these little blue dots, are actually these people on the right-hand side, okay? Where they said what, and well, what the conversation was about, and you can follow them, you can do sort of stuff. But if you're a small business and you want to use something like this to help you improve your business, you can type in, for example, coffee. I want to know all the conversations happening in Sydney about coffee while my cafe is in the middle. Then you look for 4 types of conversation: positive, negative, neutral, vomitive. And we can index that, and you can start looking at what people are saying, if it's about your brand or your competition. And guess what? You can follow them, and you can engage with them, invite them to come to your cafe or to your shop or to your business, whatever the case may be. So the next part of this is we will be putting all the other social media stuff in there, not just Twitter. Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, Instagram, and some other stuff that's not happened yet. So, and let me go back to this. Yeah.
And you can define the time frame.
Correct. Time frame, location, and this is the first version we've released. And so yeah, next version will be you can actually type in a city. So the idea going is you say, okay, well we're in the middle here. We're interested in a whole of New South Wales. And then you can write a little robot that goes around and constantly scans the area, maps the data, and sends you a report.
So
Okay?
you have to pay Twitter for that, or
No,
you don't?
the data's there. It's all there. You just have to analyze and play with it and give you stuff. So pretty much that's it. If you have any questions, please ask.